So I was in the shower, I was cleaning my ass and making all sure it's all sparkly, spanky clean.
I'm not the funny one, I'm the pretty one.
Cock shots. I just checked myself out.
Candles, music, wine, and then lube up and get on top.
The glory hole's like a dick theater. I've imagined your friend.
Which means your pants had better come off. Mama needs playtime. I do this.
We're not sluts.
We just love love.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mrs. Adam.
This is Mr. Adam.
And we're here with Lolo Lady and Ginger Tramp again.
Once again, it's like 2 weeks back to back, bitches.
Oh.
What?
But we wanted them on here to aid the review of a swingers club we went to in Brisbane.
And because they're actually funny. And I'd take some of the pressure off of me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're up in Brizzy,
Yeah.
as the locals call it. Briz Vegas. The Briz Town. The Great Briz.
Nobody calls it that.
No one calls it that.
Get closer to the mic there, JT. GT.
GT.
Ooh, JT.
JT.
You're like Justin Timberlake.
Oh, I'm the Ginger Timberlake.
Are you bringing sexy back? Oh, fuck yes, you are.
I'm bringing sunburn back.
And all over a tan that's made of freckles.
Yeah, that's it. That's the plan.
Look at all the souls he's collected. We are up in Brisbane, and we decided that the four of us, the greater we, would go to a club that we had never been to.
Yes.
So, after digging through all the local clubs up here, we decided on Mike's Place.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay.
The lady looked like she wanted to say something,
did.
and nothing came out.
Nothing came out.
The why didn't work. I'm sorry.
So, admittedly, I'm going to blame the lady for picking Mike's Place because she had done a lot of research before we came up and had seen what other clubs were doing, and it is a holiday weekend up here, so we didn't know who would be open, yada, yada, yada.
We also kind of figured that all of the clubs would be a little bit quiet.
Yeah, that was the assumption.
Just because it's a holiday weekend. So, yeah.
But she found Mike's Place, and they were doing a interesting party the night before Easter. Just to love. They were doing a Roman toga party.
Sacrilegious.
Yeah. So we're going to apologize for all the religious jokes that we make in this
And if
episode.
you're religious and listening to this podcast, I mean, you're in a real niche situation in your life. I'm ultra-conservative Christian, but I'm also just rooting everything that I can.
Hey, I don't root everything I can.
Yeah, we have standards.
I have standards.
Well, everything I want to.
Oh, not everything. I'm looking at you, JT.
JT.
So I spelled ginger with a J, clearly, because I keep looking at you and wanting to say JT, but I don't care.
If I'm... let's just move on, because this is getting awkward, and I don't know whose foot is touching me right now.
It's not mine.
It's not mine.
It's not mine either. Holy shit, is there someone under the table?
Someone came home with us.
What the shit were we talking about? So it was a Roman toga themed party at this place the day in between Good Friday and Easter Sunday. So, I mean, the only thing that was missing was a couple of planks of wood and a post hole digger, and it would have been perfect.
God, you nailed that joke.
I hope no one crucifies me for this.
I apologise. I really do.
Oh, God. We're going to hell.
That was excellent.
Oh, God.
Anyway, let's move on from the bad puns. The bad religious puns.
Later, we'll talk about how we fucked like Easter bunnies.
Oh, yeah, let's get to that part.
All right, we'll come there soon enough.
Yeah, all right, let's keep this in a line.
One, right?
Oh, God. I love it.
There's people who've come here for a review of a sex club.
I know, we're working on it. We have to build up.
We're getting there.
So anyway, the ladies done a bit of research, found Mike's Place, and that's where we've decided to go.
Yes.
You blokes have got on a plane, come up here. You guys have got on a plane, come up here.
I'm a blokey bloke.
Yeah, you're the ladiest blokey bloke I know.
I love blokes with breasts.
And then we've gone bought togas. we've gone on a toga buying expedition.
The toga
We did, and
buying
that was fun.
That actually was fun because
Yeah.
so we ended up at this costume shop, and what I love about this is we walk into this costume shop, and I will admit that I thought we were walking in as a group, like this is a team sport. The next thing you know, I look around and Ginger Tramp is paying for his costume. Like, wait, you already chose what you were? Yeah, you're just buying that? Yeah.
Well, I did go with the really practical option. I just went in and the
You
guy
talked to
there
the guy.
said, "Excuse me, can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, mate, where's your togas?" And he says, "Over here is the toga section." I went, "Excellent, thank you." And he says, "You want sandals?" I said, "Yeah, I'll have some sandals as well."
Okay, so
within about 3 minutes, I've got my Caesar themed toga.
You're
and
sorted.
And
We
I'm
were
done.
still walking through the door.
And and I do remember overhearing some of what the two of you said, and I have to be honest, I didn't understand any of it. You guys both got so Australian in your conversation. I know that you were asking about togas and that he was asking about sandals.
Yeah.
But it was so thickly Australian accented that I was having trouble understanding y'all.
It's
Y'all.
because you don't understand Australian shorthand, I think.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Oi, mate, you got any togas? He's like, sandals.
And we are in Queensland, remember that.
Yeah, it's weird. Bloody banana benders. Ooh,
Wow.
I know. I just got all racist, jingoist. I don't know.
I don't really know.
Let's move on.
Oh, it's getting uncomfortable in
Yeah.
here. Yeah, so, and as we're walking out...
I mean, you guys lost 8 in a row. Let's just leave that be.
So we looked around a bit in the costume shop, the other three of us, not including Ginger Tramp. We looked around a little bit. The lady and I decided that, okay, we have some ideas, but we're not ready to commit. And
Shocking.
yeah. And Mr. Adam, as we were looking around, we found some very sexy, nice little gold shorts for
I actually
him.
think it was the lady that
It
said, we
was.
should wear those. And-
I'm attracted by sparkly things.
yeah, it's like
And shiny things.
one of the 50 things that women have in common with fish.
And birds.
Yes. And I think the salesman was kind of keen on the idea of me being in those gold shorts as well.
yes.
He was.
He was a little bit keen.
Yeah.
And so these gold shorts are basically what Rocky wears in Rocky Horror Picture Show. These just gold trunks. And I thought, it's not a toga, but I can make it work.
Someone's trying to steal a car outside.
Yeah, that'll be
Whatevs.
fine. Should be right.
Yeah, so you ended up with the gold shorts and a gold leaf.
Laurels.
What's the laurels?
Yes.
Let's say there's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
For your hair.
He looked like a male American Kylie Minogue with a 5 o'clock shadow.
You look like a backup
Yeah.
dancer for Kylie.
Yeah.
That's like
It
the
was-
biggest compliment
It was a
ever.
I agree with that.
It was a recreation of the spinning around film clip, but just with a little bit more of a lump in the front.
But your outfit wasn't complete because you completed it at the next.
That's right.
Stop.
So we went to this really awesome op shop, which the next time we come up here, you guys have got to take us back there because they
Absolutely.
have all kinds of awesome shit. We walk in, and right in front of right through the doors
It's on the mannequin.
was a mannequin wearing a dress that Mrs. Adam ended up going home with, which was this beautiful long flowy dress with a red sash and looked all. It looked Clash of the Titans-esque, what
Yeah.
Aphrodite wears.
Sort of 15 Vestal Virgins kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wait, does that mean I get 15 virgins around me?
Do you really want them?
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing. You have to train them all.
That's
How
a
much
lot of
time do
work.
we
Oh
have?
God! Do you want to give her like acolytes, people to train? That
Can you imagine her training
training
virgins?
people, training virgins? Oh God!
She would have a whip and a taser. You're doing it wrong.
I would totally watch that.
We've just created a new Pornhub channel. Mrs. Adam trains virgins. But your luck, you would get those, like, the nerdy Star Trek watching virgins. I love Star Trek, by the way. Just saying.
I can handle that.
Scotty can beat me up anytime.
They
I grew up on Star Trek. I know it very well.
but they get attached to her and then they'd cling on.
That's beautiful.
So I'm now appealing to the conservative Christian open relationship Star Trek nerd state of origin watching people with the references I've made so far.
Oh my god, your list keeps getting bigger and bigger.
And that's not the only thing.
But we're done.
So we've gone to the other op shop. You found some stuff, and then you found some like jewelry.
Yeah, the lady found a dress as well. Nice black, simple, but still kind of that Romanesque, sexy dress thing. And you had this, and
A necklace.
the jewelry that you guys got was amazing.
Yeah.
But I only mentioned this because the jewelry will pop up later, but the lady had this really nice necklace that was leaves,
Gold
and she ended
leaves.
up putting it in her hair. But that's...
And what I thought was great in classic op shop costume fashion, the lady ended up with a gold table runner as a sash that she wore around the dress, and Mr. Adam ended up with a tablecloth as
and a lady's belt.
Yes, and a lady's belt to wear over top of and kind of go toga style over top of his gold little short shorts.
I just want to say, I get these random. I'm on Viber as well as Kick. This is completely
You
random.
should not be looking at your phone during
Well, it
this.
just popped up, and I keep getting these random Viber things that say, "I like you, let's fuck." Click now. Like, you don't even know who I am, so fuck you, Viber. Anyway, so I had a table. I was wearing my table. I had my tablecloth to wear. You had your table runner. The only one of us that looked actually
Together
put
we could eat
together
off of you.
was the Ginger Tramp, because he had an official costume, but he was still missing one thing: his sword.
Oh, I left the sword. Because once we got there, and getting to actual Mike's place, we've got there and there's a few folk who've got into costume, who've gone with the whole toga theme thing, and there's a lot of folk who haven't. So I've got there and seen that really there's not a lot of commitment, so I thought the sword's just got to be an impediment after a while, so I'm just going to leave it off.
And that was me. So we had talked about me carrying grapes, and I thought even after we started looking for grapes, that's just going to be something I'm going to have to carry around. I'm not going to want to have to carry this shit around.
Yeah. If the level of competition was going to be higher in the costume stakes, it would have been worthwhile having the sword for the prop and comedic effect.
It pulls the room together.
Yeah, and it gives you something to open a conversation with. But it was like, well, I'm dressed as Caesar. I'm the Ginger Caesar right now.
I like to think
enough.
that's what Caesar really looked like.
Yeah.
I really like the way I imagine Caesar. It was what you looked like last night. Anyway, so before we got there, and we'll get to that, but I want to talk. We took this cab ride in, or this Uber ride in, and the guy was playing Christian radio for most of the ride.
Yes.
He was perfectly lovely.
He
And
was
also,
a great
just
guy.
it was a Toyota Yaris, and for those of you who don't know cars that well, it's the tiniest of the Toyotas.
It's a go-kart.
It's a go-kart. It can seat 4 people technically, and thankfully we're all relatively slim, small people, so we could all pile in. But it was pretty squeezy in the back of the car.
It was clown cars.
Yes.
Clown cars.
But the Uber driver was asking a lot of questions about, are we going to a party? Where's the party? What's the theme? And of course, given the music, we were trying to be as vague as possible and change the subject as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and
It was full on Christian radio,
Yeah.
and the rock songs for Jesus.
Yeah. So we're going to a Roman toga party at a friend's warehouse where we can be very loud and it's okay.
Yeah. Because when we've pulled up in this darkened street,
exactly.
I think he was a little concerned for
and
us,
look,
to be
Mike's
honest.
place is in an industrial area in Slacks Creek. So it is it is out of the way. I mean, it's certainly a well lit, pretty safe part of the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's certainly nondescript.
It's an industrial park.
Yeah, 25, 30 minutes south of the city.
Yeah.
And when he let us out of the car, immediately, if it had been me from 2 years ago, I'd have been like, this isn't right. And I might not have gotten out of the car. But knowing how a lot of these swingers clubs are now, I was like, oh yeah, this looks legit.
We'll
This
find
looks
it, it's
normal.
fine.
And he lets us out in this parking lot. And you could tell he was not terribly comfortable in letting us out.
He was like,
Yeah.
where are you going exactly?
Are you
Do
sure?
You know where you're going?
And then Ginger Trap very wisely said, "Oh, it's in a warehouse, so we can be as loud as we want." I'm like, genius. And so we ended up walking around into the corner, not too far away, 100 meters or so.
Just around the corner of the
Around
building.
the corner, and we see all these cars, and we're like, "Oh, that's got to be it." So we get there and ring the bell, up the stairs, and all of us have our costumes. I guess the ladies were in their costumes, and he and I were in jeans and a button-up. We get to the top of the stairs, and really the only people at that time who had dressed up were the owners of the place. I guess there was one other couple.
There was one other couple
They were
dressed
either
up.
were they
there
already
was-
there, or were they
thought
behind
they'd
us?
come
They came
later.
right behind us.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
immediately behind us. So the only people who were dressed up were the owners
There were 2 other couples there when we arrived.
and a single lady.
yeah, and it was about 9:30 when we got there.
Place opens at 8,
I
right?
think so. We didn't
Yeah,
leave
it was
here
still
until
pretty-
just before 8.
Yeah, it was pretty.
It was early.
Early in the evening, so I wouldn't have expected it to be very busy. And admittedly, on a theme night, not everybody knows about it, but I still kind of expected more than just the owner. So when we showed up and we were the only ones in costume at that point, it was like, well, we'd just we're here. Let's
Yeah,
go
we're
with
here.
it.
Let's go
Yeah.
with it.
Who cares?
So we went into one of the rooms. They told us so they don't have lockers. I didn't actually catch all that.
They do have, so they had lockers, took them out because
Okay.
I don't know, they were old, whatever, and they have new ones that they have to put up, but they just came in, so they hadn't been put up.
Gotcha.
We
That's
actually
right.
saw them
Saw
downstairs later.
near the spa.
Yeah, I remember you
Yeah.
commenting on that, and I didn't. I was like,
Right,
wow.
and she said that this next week they're going to put them up. So they do have them, they will be there. It's just that this particular night we caught it that weird in between time that
Gotcha.
they weren't up
Fair
yet.
enough.
But Ian was wonderful. He
Yeah.
said, let's, Ian and Lynn are the
Lynn,
owners.
yeah, those are the two owners.
Yeah, he was wonderful. They said to put the stuff in the manager's office up the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they kept an eye on it.
And
so.
it was actually in a fairly well lit part, so we felt really
It's
safe
fine.
Absolutely,
with
yeah.
where our gear was anyway. So that was quite good.
Yeah. So we walked in, we dropped our drinks off. They were, again, very gracious, really nice, friendly people.
Good hosts.
Yep. Luke, the bartender, was very helpful, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that, it goes back, and I guess, I know, I'm always impressed with it because I know I couldn't do it. But whenever any of the four of us walked up, he knew exactly whose drinks.
Yep.
He was like,
Yeah.
and he would go, how many? And he knew that we had 1 white wine and 3 red wines. And it was
Yeah.
like, 3 and 1 again? Or, it's like, that kind of stuff always impresses me
Attention
because
to
I
detail.
can't do that. Yeah, and it's nice to have.
He's a good-looking, fit young guy too,
Yeah, I know, right?
who also could do some pretty amazing work on a pole at one point. I think on a dare, but he was upside down doing this slide down,
Yeah.
upside down thing.
I was impressed.
The Mr. and Mrs. Adam have been doing some pole dancing class type stuff, so they can probably tell you exactly what the move is, like it's some sort of gymnastics
Sexy.
thing.
It's called sexy.
It's called the sexy move.
I called it.
The sexy move of sexiness. But anyway, he was upside down. He leaps up, grabs onto the top of the pole with his legs, and then slides down with his knees almost touching the ceiling, then all the way to the bottom. Anyway,
In a controlled
so
move.
He
too.
had good muscles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And he was shirtless at the time,
Yep.
and he's covered in tats, and like,
Yep.
Yeah.
And muscles.
But a bartender and a showman.
yeah.
So Luke took our drinks, and we got a little bit of the lay of the land from Lynn, who told us where everything was. So we've gone and had a bit of a wander around and a look. And at first you walk in and upstairs, it seems like it's quite small. There's only 3 playrooms upstairs, a pool table, the bar, and a bit of a dance floor.
And the pole dance.
Two poles, yeah.
The
Two
poles,
poles,
pole dance
and
area.
some restrooms.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
3 restrooms, I think.
and that's actually was a really good thing. There's 3 toilets upstairs. There's probably 3 or 4 downstairs as well. But when you first get upstairs, it looks like it's going to be quite small. And it's a bit
It's
okay.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
God, seriously? 3 playrooms for all these people?
Yeah,
But now, when you say 3 playrooms, though, upstairs they were all of them 2 beds, or was
I think
there
one
were a
of them
smaller
was
one?
one bed.
I think there
and the
was
other
one
was
that was
two.
smaller
like
that
the
had
one
one bed.
So
closest
two-
to the bar was just one bed. I
Okay.
thought.
And then 2 of them had 2 beds put together in the room. So it is, one room, but it is still decent sized where you can have multiple couples
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
and then you head downstairs and there's the hot tub. Didn't work out if it was a hot tub time machine, but that's a different thing.
It had lots of different colours. So
It did have, yeah. And then you go through the door, and then there's the smoking area on the right, but then there's this whole other separate play area downstairs.
It's huge.
With a massage table and a sex swing and a whole heap of couches and another 2 rooms, 3
think so.
rooms
2 or
downstairs.
3 rooms,
2
yeah.
or 3
I
rooms
think.
downstairs.
There weren't 3.
And
more bathrooms, which was great.
and
as
the
well.
porn-
3 more bathrooms.
Yeah,
Porn
the porn
playing.
corner.
Yeah, the porn.
The porner. Yeah, the porn corner.
The coolest part though was the smoking session was outside, and then there were 2 individual doors, so you wouldn't get the smoke wafting in constantly
And
to
it-
either area. So
Provided that the doors were closed.
It did
And everyone
say
kept
them
it did
closed.
say to please keep the doors closed,
Yeah.
and we didn't see them open into that big play area until probably 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and at that point it was only a hint of smoke. It wasn't inundated like some places are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, downstairs there were 2 huge areas of like big L-shaped couches, and I mean they were. I don't know how many people you would seat down there, but they were 2 very large areas. One
Big
was
area.
around the porn TV. One was closer to where the swing and the massage table were.
Yeah, it's almost like they wrapped the entire outside of the room in
In
couches,
couches,
so
yeah.
you
Yeah.
could watch from a lot of different locations with the swing in the middle of one section and the massage table off to the side of the swing. So if you wanted to put on a show
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely good.
And which works really well because they didn't have like a specific voyeur area.
No.
So that sort of became that voyeur area because also in the middle of that room was another a couple of ottomans that they had put
Yeah.
together. Because
Yeah.
at one point when we were down there playing, massaging, there was another couple where she was laying on the ottomans. So had there been people sitting, that would have been a full, like, almost stage show
There was
of
a
what was going
couple
on.
that were sitting and watching, but they were also doing their own little thing too,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
very distracting because it was very hot.
Oh, was that the young?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was
the two young
yeah.
couples where he was showing the other couple how he was masturbating her.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was hot.
Yeah.
You were getting massaged at the time.
Yeah.
Sorry, you missed it.
Yeah.
But it was behind me, and I kept kind of looking over my shoulder, trying not to be creepy.
said
I was
something, we
being
could pause
totally
the
creepy.
massage
I
and-
was just standing there going, oh.
You should have said something. We can pause the
Massaging.
massage and then,
Yeah.
you know, curve a little and come back to
And
it.
we've all got a little bit distracted here, haven't we?
Yeah.
But I will say though that one thing that'll come into play later is that all of the playrooms had doors on them,
They did.
so you can close all of the doors, which is a good thing. But what I wish, and I think I say this about every club, but what I wish is that they had the chain thing.
Yeah.
Because later on, spoiler alert, we ended up playing in one of the rooms and the door was cracked a little bit so people could see in through the crack. But you don't want to, and we don't mind people watching us. Mr. Adam and I don't. I don't know about you guys, but we don't mind.
I'm
But
a voyeur. I'm an exhibitionist.
Right,
Yeah,
and
whatever.
so, but it was like, we don't want to open the door because that almost invites them to come in and join.
Yeah.
But you also don't mind them watching. So if they had the chain that went across the doorway where you could leave the door open, but it's clear that you're not invited in,
Yeah.
that would, I think that
that's-
always makes the
that's
environment
advice I would
better.
give to every club out
Yeah.
there is to have the three option policy. Whereas the door's closed, you don't open the fucking door. If there's a chain, you're allowed to watch, but you can't cross the chain. And if the door's open, that means please come in and try to invite yourself into play.
Right.
The other thing I would say is that, I mean, the high watermark is always, for me, going to be OSS. It's always going to be our secret spot. And you go there, it's your first time, you get the walk through the tour, here's everything, here's the rules, here's how it all works. I mean, in very typically relaxed Queensland, Brisbane fashion, it was just, oh, g'day, how you going? There's the bar, drop your drinks off over there, there's the dunnies. They didn't say dunnies, but it wasn't that
This is how you
Australian.
were translating in your head?
Yeah.
Effectively it was, and it's very laid back. There wasn't that whole thing where you go through. So if you were a first timer going to that club, it could be a little bit of, unless
What do
you
we
were
do?
getting the tour,
Yeah.
of this is the rules. And
Well,
everything
in all
else.
fairness, though,
Yeah.
we did drop our drinks off first.
Yes.
We got a drink, and then we went for a wander while Lynn was letting in some other couples.
That's true. Yeah.
And
And
we-
she'd already asked if we were first timers. And we
That's
said
true.
first timer to the club, but we're
Yeah.
regulars
Right.
at our secret
Yeah.
spot.
And so,
Exactly.
and when we came back upstairs from our first wander, she said, "Okay, well now let me show you around. Here's this da da da." And that's when she mentioned the big playroom downstairs, which we hadn't gone through that door. We'd
That's
only
right.
gone down to the spa, and then we didn't continue on through the other door because we didn't know there was anything behind it, and the door was closed.
As it said, please keep the door closed. So
Right.
I take that as do not
Yeah,
enter.
I thought that meant it was just
Like storage.
storage or
That's what I
something.
assumed.
And so
but-
once she mentioned that there was this whole other area downstairs, we were like, oh, and at that point there were still people arriving, so she got busy letting them in, and she's like, well, I'll take you down there in a moment. We're like, we can go find
Yeah,
it
we'll go,
ourselves.
yeah.
And we did. So she did offer once she was, but I also
and I
will
saw
say,
her take other couples on
Yeah.
tours.
yes,
That's true, yeah.
And Ian did say that someone had called in sick because
Two
of the long
people,
weekend, or
actually.
two people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So I
that's
think
right.
they were normally a little
Yeah.
better staffed that might
Sure.
help with that.
Because there was only 3
but-
people working there.
Yeah, yeah. But the holiday weekend, I think, made it a bit tough with that.
Yeah. So we get there, we do our wander around, and I will say it's probably next to the place in North Carolina, the largest club that we have been in.
In Australia, it's
in
the
Australia
largest,
for
yeah.
sure. Which is kind of cool.
It was good space because I like that they had playrooms downstairs, playrooms upstairs. Everything downstairs was just the open voyeur if you want, or you can go into the room if you want. They had porn playing upstairs. They had the poles if you wanted to. They had a pool table,
pool
which is
table is
always
great.
a great social.
It's such a great icebreaker because there's so many great innuendos that can be made with a pool table. You got balls, holes, and sticks.
and you can
I mean,
mix
come on.
up couples. You can singles can play along. I mean,
Yeah.
it's great. They did have some music TV playing on a big
Yeah.
TV upstairs,
Which I like that as well, rather to have music rather than porn. I think
Yeah.
it's nice.
Yeah.
And the music that they were playing was spectacular. And he kept apologizing for the music. And I'm like, you clearly think the 4 of us are younger than we actually
Yeah.
are. Because he was playing things Informer. I have not seen the Informer video since I was in high school, and I was so excited to see that. It was great.
But they also had a couple of high top tables upstairs. They had some lounges up there, so you could just kind of sit back, relax, and watch and chat with people if you wanted to. The whole setup, I think, was really well done because it did have that big social area, both upstairs and downstairs, but then there were clearly separate play areas.
Yeah, and even upstairs there were spots where you could sit and be right in the centre of the room, at one of the high top tables. There were couches where you could sit which were on the edge of that area and be quite comfortable. But there were even some more secluded couches upstairs too, that
Clever.
You could sit there, there was, if you really wanted to sit and be a voyeur, you could sit just off to the side and
be kind
that.
of invisible almost.
Yeah. And upstairs is actually a really good setup.
It was a great layout.
And the other thing that I liked about the upstairs is those 3 playrooms were separated from that main lounge area with a wall.
Yeah.
And so if you went into the play area, it's not like coming out or going in. You're not going straight into the masses, the crowd of people.
Yeah.
You can kind of go down that little hallway behind the wall and then just kind of go in or come out. And it's a little less intimidating that way, I feel
Or quickly
like.
duck to the bathroom if you need to as well without having to walk through the entire crowd of people.
Yeah.
The bit I loved is they had snacks on the bar and then brought out some more snacks later on, which was great.
That was funny. So Lolo Lady's superpower is apparently smell. And at some point we're standing there upstairs. We all have a drink in hand and she's like,
I can smell hot food. I can
smell hot
something
food.
like chicken nuggets or something hot food. We're like, what? And we've looked across and about 7 or 8 meters away on the bar, a plate of food has just been put out.
Like they're actually setting it down. We can see them taking their hands away from the platter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Worst X-Man power ever.
I don't know, maybe I could be a dog.
hey, she survived. She can smell the food.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So in the zombie apocalypse, Lolo Lady will lead us to food.
I'll sniff out the truffles.
I smell chicken salt. And the coat
Someone
comes
in this
up.
room's horny and I can smell it.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Mama smells oysters.
And she's hungry.
So we spent some time upstairs. We played 2 of the worst games of pool ever.
Hey, the pool table was level.
Yeah, the
The pool table was not level. The floor
sticks weren't straight.
The floor shook a little.
The balls weren't completely round.
And we're shit players.
So if you're planning, look, just a word of warning. If you're going to Mike's place and hoping to play a really good competitive game of pool, play a few games on that table first because it's got some interesting things happening to it.
Like you touch the table and the whole table. I was afraid that either the table would collapse or we would fall through the floor.
Yeah.
I don't think either of those things were gonna happen, but it was just. It's the only time I've ever been like that was playing on a cruise ship.
Also, in the vein of communication, you should also establish the rules ahead of time because we started playing.
Yes.
Mr. Adam and I started playing by American Pool Association rules. Apparently, Ginger Tramp and Lady were playing by sort of pub uni rules in Australia.
But basically,
sort of,
the who gives a fuck rules.
and they were kind of making things up as they went. But then, as we went along, they got a little more serious about it.
Because they were losing.
Anyway, and then as one of the other guests at Mike Place pointed out, as Mr. Adams said, we're playing by APA rules, American pool, whatever. And he says, mate, you're not an American now.
That was singly the most Australian thing that happened all night. It was bloody amazing.
Yeah,
No,
and
there
then
was one more comment later.
Really?
We'll get to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, was that the America-Canada one?
No.
No, because there was that one as well. I thought was quite funny. Where are you blokes from? Where are you guys from? America, Canada? Doesn't matter. It's all the same. But if anything, that pool table just adds to what the place. It's kind of fun. It actually kind of makes for fun because you're playing and you can't help but not be serious playing on that table because you think you've got your shot lined up. Even when you're playing on the way to drunk pool, where you're getting that confidence up and you just, I've got this shot, I've got it down pat. You play it, and then the ball sort of gets this curve on it. And it's like, what's going on? You can't help but laugh. And it does actually help. And we were watching another couple of couples who took the table over after us, and they were having similar amounts of fun as well.
And it's great because the pool table is in that big open area,
it's
so
right in the middle.
everybody can watch. Yeah.
And in order to go downstairs, you have to pass the people playing pool.
Yeah.
And then also some people have to bend right over the table to play some shots,
God,
and
yes.
that was kind of hot.
You're welcome.
Oh, that's right. You disrobed.
I disrobed
for
at
a
one
shot.
point. I had just and I made that shot, didn't I? Yeah.
In your gold
so
shorts.
I looked at the missus and I said, "Here, hold my dress." and I took my toga off. And yeah, everybody stared at me. I'm all right with that.
But everyone was laughing after that as well. It
Yeah.
was just like a massive icebreaker, and everyone was, oh
Yeah.
god, here we go.
But apart from that, there was a blonde woman in a very, very short
my
black
God,
dress.
that dress was
who
amazing.
Wow.
was amazing.
And it
She
had
was quite
cutouts
amazing.
on one side, kind of like
she
little
was-
strip
yeah.
cutouts.
All down the side.
Her partner was cute as well.
They
yeah,
were
yeah.
both
He had that
cute,
kind
yeah.
of Anderson Cooper cuteness to him.
Yeah. So I shouldn't use the lady's name just in case, but she came second in a balloon costume construction championship. If you're listening to this podcast, look us up. The ginger _ tramp. Make contact because you were pretty hot, and we would have liked to have hung out with you more.
Yeah, that you guys should have said something. You can give information. You need cards made up.
We do need cards made up.
The card can't have a picture of your face going, "Call me," with your thumbs up.
Actually,
pointing
it
at your
totally
face.
should.
Hey, Dale, want a root?
Oh god.
Ever trip over a tree branch? No? How about a rate?
So where are we at? So we've seen upstairs. We've gone downstairs.
Well, hang on. Let's go back a second because I want to talk more about this lady bending over the table because
Let's talk more about that because that was hot.
I did actually enjoy that more than
You
I
weren't the
expected.
only one.
You know, and she kept bending over, and every time she'd bend over, her dress would ride up just a little bit, and it was just like,
That's right. And then there was the Hawaiian I Dream of Jeannie.
Wait.
Yeah.
What you guys may not have noticed is I looked around the room rather than looking at her the second time it happened, just to see what was happening around the room. And quite literally, everyone had stopped. Their conversations completely stopped, and they were looking.
where there was this hush
It was
that fell over the room.
Absolutely hypnotic.
Yeah, between the holes in her dress,
It
and
was a
her-
little bit like Wimbledon, you know, when it was
Everyone goes,
quiet, please. And just before the final serve, you know, for the championships, it was that kind of quiet that probably fell over the
because
room. I
everyone
didn't
was
notice.
hoping it would rise just that little bit
I
too
know, it was
much.
so, like, 2 more centimeters, and we'd have been lip reading.
No, she had pink knickers on.
She did.
That's great. I love that you know it.
I saw those too.
I didn't see them. I missed it. Oh.
Oh,
Anyway.
poor you.
Anyway,
And
sorry.
anyway, so there was also the Hawaiian Islander I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah, she was
who
pretty
was
as
there
well.
as well. And
In the
she-
gold lame
the,
top.
the gold lame top.
Strategically placed
Yeah.
top.
And both their partners, I mean, it's not, my guys aren't really my thing at all.
But you can address handsome people. You accept
Yeah,
it.
you can see handsome, cute looking people.
Both the partners were
Both the partners
delicious.
were pretty
Yeah.
tidy. So
I was a big fan of the blonde's partner. I mean, balloon artists turned me on.
I like
to be honest.
I like the other one's partner a
Yeah.
lot.
Really?
The
Yeah.
brunette.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had on
He
the
was
white
tall
shirt
and
Yeah.
bigger.
he had that
He had
young,
that beardy thing.
He had
the
that- yeah.
young,
Yeah.
goofy kind of look, like.
But rough as well.
Yeah.
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 I'm kind of fun, but you know, I'm still learning what to do with my body. Can you teach me? Can I be one of your
virgins.
One of the virgins. I've been de-virgined, but I'll be re-virgined if I can come and join your, school of wizardry and.
Do you have to like
Sex
wear
Harry
a
Potter?
promise-
Yeah, well, kind of.
I'm gonna put you on your Hermione's.
I'm gonna make you one of my Griffin whores.
I can't wait to slither in.
Come on, there's one left.
Oh! Hey, sweetheart, before you put your finger there, trim your raven claws.
Thank you very much. We are done.
And I'm spent. I'll be knocking on your Dumble back door.
Is that your snitch or your snatch? Oh God, is this a Harry Potter sexual pun podcast, or are we doing a review of Mike's Place?
Can it be both? I'm so happy right now.
I forgot where we were.
So, the pool table. We're having a good time. We've played some pool, and then we've gone back downstairs to see what was going on, because by this stage it's about 11 o'clock. And
Was it?
Yeah, so it was about 11.
It was getting,
and they
things were starting to really pick up at that point. It
Yeah.
took to about 11:30 for things to pick up.
Yeah, and there was a good crowd, even though it was Easter weekend. There was
Yeah.
still probably 30, maybe 40 people, I think, who came in.
I would have said around 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, quite a good crowd, and a diverse crowd too. So there was
Definitely.
a fairly even mix of folks in their late 20s, maybe early 30s, some folks in their 40s, and some folks in their 50s and beyond as well.
Oh
But
gosh, the ones in their 50s, weren't they smart looking and kind of delicious?
Yeah, but it was a really good mix of people. It wasn't skewed in any way.
No,
shape or form.
Yeah.
And I have to say, Ian and Lynn were really wonderful hosts, and they made everyone feel really quite welcome.
Yes.
So, regardless of what your age might be, it's a really quite a good club to go to, and you probably will find someone there to talk to, have a chat to, and maybe even play with. But yeah, so by this stage it was about 11 o'clock, and we've decided then to go back downstairs and see what was going on in the big downstairs sort of sex dungeon. If we're going to call it that, with the sex swing and the...
Were we going to have a look, or did Mrs. Atom demand
She demanded.
service
Oh,
Yes.
yeah,
for
sorry.
her massage that she
a 6-handed massage. That's what you sound like in my head.
Yeah.
No, it was just that when we were at our secret spot last with Ginger Tramp and Lolo Lady,
For my birthday.
right?
Best birthday ever when
Yes.
you go to our secret spot and you get a birthday sash.
Yeah, so
And you finally get to resolve the sexual tension with someone.
right. So when we were there, I received a massage from another friend and from Ginger Tramp, and I was in need of a repeat of this massage. And so yes,
me.
Yeah, so I suggested that we go downstairs and get the massage going.
Well, suggested is one way of putting it. I mean, I,
grabbing you by the
I-
neck
I-
sash
I
and
was
pulling you down the stairs could also be the description of what happened.
I was in my toga with the red sort of Legionnaire's kind of cape sash thing over the back, and Mrs. Adam has essentially wrapped it around her head and led me down the stairs.
It made a very nice leash.
It really did.
Yep.
Yes.
And I knew well enough not to argue and just follow.
And you learned that more later. But spoiler alert.
Spoilers. So we've gone downstairs, taken over the massage table, and I mean, we're all really good friends, so it was as much sexy times as it was just
God, it was-
humour.
It was stand-up comedy
It
time.
was stand-up
So-
comedy.
I sort of felt guilty at times.
Think
Well-
about the bad Harry Potter puns that just happened.
Yeah.
It was like that all during the massage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, it was stand up
Which
for
was
three
fun.
of us, and one of us was lying face down. But it was, hands everywhere and
Jokes about zombie Jesus being tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it just. I think others around were thinking, "What the hell are these?
What is
people?
wrong with these people?
What is wrong with these people?"
We have strange foreplay.
Yeah.
But around
But humor
us,
makes me aroused.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Every joke,
makes
she got
me
a little drippier.
comfortable.
But by that stage downstairs, there was about four
Four in the corner.
Four in the corner.
Yeah.
So there was the demonstration of how he masturbated her, and that was so hot to watch.
You know,
There
it was funny
an-
because it was really hot, but when I first saw it, I was like, well, that's awkward. But then I was like, actually, no, that's actually really hot.
Yeah. And then there was another couple over in another corner
yeah.
who were making out and watching everybody, and then there was another couple who just stripped down and
The older
and,
couple on the chaise in the middle
Yeah,
who
yeah.
were doing some really...
Yeah, he was
Big
doing
I don't know
some.
work.
what massage he was giving her, but
he was trying to make her squirt.
It was a yoni massage.
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Yeah, he was yoni-ing her.
okay. But yeah, she was very much enjoying things. So
Yeah.
it was a really good environment.
So
Downstairs.
we have to talk about the negatives with the positives, and this
Right.
isn't a negative because this is just this one person's personality.
But it was quite funny.
It was funny because
Yeah.
It was funny.
This Bogan guy and I've used Bogan. He was in the States. He would be
a little rednecky.
a little rednecky.
A little, but not heat.
But
Yeah.
not like super far down the path.
Yeah, like.
Some
Maybe
of
just a
my
little
best
country.
friends are bogans.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Me too. That's the thing. It's weird. But he was kind of gritty Bogan. And he's got these two ladies, and they sit down, and it was clearly he brings them in to sort of show them off.
Yeah.
And he sits down, and he goes, "Come on, ladies. Let's go into one of these rooms, and I'll show you something you've never seen before." And I'm like, wow. You
Yeah.
need to work on your flirting skills.
And I forget what Lolo Lady made a comment.
A
And
very
I know,
loud comment, and I don't remember what it was.
And I
but-
know that mine was, I doubt that.
Yeah. Your face is down in the hole.
I know.
I doubt that. Shh. Smack you in the back of the head.
And what was your comment?
I don't know, but it was naughty.
It was
and
something
funny.
naughty because I remember laughing at that too.
And I think I said something to the effect of, oh my God, I've never seen anything that small. It's like, don't say shit like that. Step one.
I mean,
But-
just in case that person is listening to this podcast,
Don't say shit like
Hey,
that.
Yeah.
hey, but it worked for them. He
Worked
got
for
the
them.
girls into the room.
Hey, fair enough. Yeah,
Done.
if
So,
and I guess that goes back to another comment, which would be know your target audience. If they wanted to see something they had never seen before, I mean, yeah,
sure.
yeah, fine. Yeah, maybe he had a bionic penis,
Maybe.
or maybe he was packing heat.
Yeah.
Or
but he was the guy who turned up with 2 ladies and took both of them into a room.
fair enough.
So, you know, he...
Win for him.
But again, it just went... It is a very laid-back experience.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
if you're expecting a really formal kind of club...
It's not cocktails and canapes.
No,
No.
But at the same time, it's also not Caligula. So
Yeah,
at least on
right.
the night that we went. So for me, it was a good experience.
Yeah. It was a good crowd. It was
Yeah.
it was a good number to where there were a lot of people to watch and to interact with, but it didn't feel oppressively crowded. And I
Yeah.
feel like there was enough space to, you know, how it was split up, that they could have easily had another 20 to 30 people and it still be comfortable.
It felt almost like a barbecue at someone's house. That's the only thing that was missing is a barbecue. And just wherever...
We've gone to different kind of barbecues.
Yeah. Stick
The
with
same
me.
kind.
Stick
Okay.
with me here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a good analogy last
Are
time.
you gonna butter some buns here?
No, but it just had that feel of just a really easy gathering
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
people. And there's people there you don't know, there's people there that you
Yeah.
know. But overall, it's a really easy, friendly crowd. But just at some stage, they all just get a bit naked.
It's comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, and that's one of the things I like, is,
Yeah.
and we've sort of touched on this multiple times, but you know, as we're going through the night from location to location, people are coming up and there's that friendly, casual conversation.
Yeah.
It's never like,
The flirty touches.
yeah, and you know, I look at like bars, and at bars, you don't really talk to the people near you, but in clubs like this, because everybody's there for the same reason, you're sort of in that mindset. You're predisposed to being either spoken to or speaking to someone. And so you've got like the lady in the beautiful dress. I know she spoke to us a
Yeah.
couple times. She spoke to Ginger Tramp for a little while. She came over and she and I talked balloon animals for a bit because, you know, dorks in the world unite. You know, and there was other couples that would come up and just
Yeah.
talk to us.
Yeah.
And so I don't know at what point in the night it was, but I know the lady went to the bathroom. And when we first walked into the club, there was a single lady at the bar, and she was not in costume. Apparently, she spoke to the owners. They had an extra costume or an extra sheet,
Yeah.
so she went. They gave her the sheet, and she went and
Tied
it up
on,
and
yeah.
put on a toga. But I know you, on walking back from the bathroom, we noticed that you were talking to her for a bit, lady, and you gave her that necklace that you had in your hair. Talk about that, because you were walking back to the bathroom, and how did that even come about?
She was by herself.
So you
And-
just walked up and talked to her?
Yeah. And she didn't have any bling, and I thought, I have too much, I'll give her mine.
Yeah.
Why not?
And that right there is sort of that epitome of what I think the lifestyle sort of represents, is that we are all on the same team. We're all in it together, and you know what we have, literally what we have to share.
We'll share
Yeah.
the fun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I feel bad that she never really came and talked to us. She, you know, we spoke to her in bits and pieces, but never
Yeah.
the four of us. And I think maybe she was just intimidated by maybe all four of us together, because
I think
it
it's
was clear that
possible.
we were all
Yeah.
old friends. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was Caesar. I think.
she did ask me at the very beginning, which one of them, and she pointed to the two ladies, did you get the trunks off of? And I looked at her and went, oh, these are my trunks. And she goes, oh.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she spent a lot of time downstairs talking to some of the smokers, though, because she was a smoker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, it's
So we covered off downstairs.
yeah, we covered up and we came back upstairs.
Yep.
No, we were deciding, all right, it's time to play. Let's
But the room downstairs was
both
full.
rooms, yeah, we're full
Yeah.
downstairs. And so we went upstairs to the last empty room. Rather than closing the door all the way, we left it a couple centimeters open.
Yeah.
A couple inches, more than a few centimeters.
Well, every time I looked up, someone new was watching us, but the couple that arrived just after we did,
Yes.
they kept coming back and having another look.
Yeah,
You noticed? Yeah.
they kept wanting to talk to us as well
I
throughout the
think
night.
so.
And
If we were in a different place, I would have probably talked to them more. But I just wasn't in that mindset last
I wasn't in
night.
that mindset either. And so my mindset for the whole night going in was I wanted to play with Mrs. Adam, and I wanted to watch Ginger Tramp play with Mrs. Adam, and I wanted to watch Lady play with Mrs. Adam. That's what I wanted to see. And
And
so,
admittedly, for us being one night here in Brisbane,
Yeah.
or one night at the club in Brisbane, it, you know, if there was, I don't know, I wasn't really in the mindset to play with anyone new. If we lived here, if we were around
Yeah.
more often, if we
if
come
we were
back,
you guys,
yeah, or if we
Yeah.
come back again, then I'll probably, I think, be more in the mindset to play
Yeah.
with somebody else. But this was just a little bit of a let's check it out, and I wanted to play with Ginger Tramp, and then we'll see, you know, what happens from there.
yeah.
So while there were other very interesting couples there, we just weren't in the mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got in the room. We all, I'm not gonna say relatively quickly because it was like magic. Like poof, the clothes were gone.
Yeah.
Don't you remember?
Yeah. Once again, Ace Ventura clothes style.
I
Yeah.
did try and keep my sandals on for as long as I could.
You couldn't keep your sandals on for most of the night.
Yeah, but I had actually worked out how to tie them up. So there was that thing of I'd finally worked out how to tie my
So
and
then
these-
he was
these-
very proud of it. He didn't want to take them off.
So,
Yeah, but do you remember that was kind of a ruse for him to keep bending over and showing off his ass to everybody?
And his leg.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
As a runner, you have very nice legs.
Thank you.
And a nice ass.
Your ass is,
Thank you.
It's fair.
It's a kumquat.
Thank you.
It's a kumquat.
So I had these Roman sandals, the ones with the leather straps that go all the way up to the knee, and I'd tied it, and I'd finally worked out how to tie it. And I thought, this could be kind of fun to be like naked and going, you know.
Come to Homercles.
Sorry, but I'm not taking my sandals off. But eventually I took the
You
sandals
can
off
leave
as well.
your sandals on.
Yeah.
It's so I'm now imagining like throughout history, like now sometimes guys leave their socks on and they want the women to leave their high heels on.
Yeah.
Back in Roman times, it's like I'm not going to undo these leather
Yeah.
things. I'm just going to rip my toga off and let's
Yeah.
just do this.
I think that's fair.
That's
Yeah.
probably what it was like.
Either that or they just lifted the toga up because I don't think they wore underwear.
Yeah, crawl up under here.
Yeah. Come under my dress. Literally.
You're so proud of yourself. It's adorable.
I made a joke. It was a bad one, but it was a joke.
And so for me, and stealing from Mr. and Mrs. Jones, that one snapshot in my head of the night that sort of pulls the night together is Ginger Tramp on one of Mrs. Adams' breasts, me on one of Mrs. Adams' breasts, and the lady, like all I can see is hair. She's like dove in between the legs, and there's no forehead. She's like so far in there that she's like, "Grr." It was great.
Yeah, I stopped breathing at one point.
Yeah. That's one of the snapshots for me for the night.
That was pretty cool, actually.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And you were just like you were sort of the center of attention for most of the night.
I had no problem with this.
I don't think anybody else did either.
No,
just
none of us
quietly.
I don't know. There was a time that both Ginger Tramp and I, we each had one of Lady's breasts in our mouth, and I was happy with that part. Yeah.
It was hot watching.
Yeah.
Watching.
Very nice,
Yeah.
pert, strong breasts. Yeah.
You do have lovely nipples.
Yeah.
You have beautiful nipples. And I know that sounds awkward for me to say, but it's kind of awesome. You have beautiful nipples. Anyway, so and we moved to the play part.
Yeah.
I know Ginger Tramp is falling apart because he knows where this is going. We moved to the play part, and at one point he's behind Mrs. Adam, and she's going down on me, and the lady is trying to get up and under Mrs. Adam at the same time.
That was really awkward to do.
It is, but it's probably my favorite position, like as a side note, my favorite position to be in is 69 with her, with a guy having sex with her from behind.
Yeah.
Let me read the line, too, when we get to it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that is my favorite position because you've got this perfect, like me being bi, it's kind of awesome because you're so close to the cock and balls and the pussy at the same time. And it's like, wow, that's amazing. So I almost suggested you try to do that, but at the same time I was like, it would be difficult for her to go down on me and you be under there because our pelvises would be in each other's ways, and it wouldn't. Yeah, it's just like you physically can't get two things in the same spot. Anyway, but I digress. So back to the sex. The sex is happening. The sex finishes, and then Ginger Tramp looks up and says,
And in the spirit of the really biblical sort of theme of the night, although for those of you really playing at home, it's in the wrong part of that big book. I've gone, Pharaoh, let my penis go. Because I was sort of, I'm going to say I was clamped in place.
I just love that you didn't even, you said without even thinking about it, let my penis go. You act like
read like that.
It was sort of like, it wasn't
somewhere
Pharaoh.
between my read and your read.
It was a little more masculine than that.
Let my penis go.
I don't know. I was too busy rolling around on the bed trying not to bawl my head off because it was so funny.
And
Then he goes something like, it's like vapor lock.
like, it's attached to you, just pull out.
I couldn't.
It's not like she has barbs up there.
It's just like, it was fantastic.
Look, the thing with Mrs. Adam is that,
Oh god,
Here
where
we
is this
go.
going?
that she's in charge, really, and I wasn't being let go, so I had to ask. So
She's got wicked muscles, don't she?
she does have wicked
Well,
muscles.
and admittedly, when I orgasm,
they're
at the
very
same
naughty.
time that the guy orgasms, it's like even more intense and
Crunchy.
strong, and yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like I said, and I said this last night, at one point after sex, she sneezed, and I thought I lost a couple of inches.
It's not that bad, dear.
We have two guys that say it is. It's not bad, it's fucking tastic. But, yeah, it's just tied up in there.
Doesn't matter, had sex.
So after that, we all giggled, laughed. I mean, and the long and short of it is,
You're there to have fun.
the night was exactly what I
Yeah.
wanted it to be. It was a lot of laughter. It's a lot of sort of that camaraderie with really good friends, and it's sex, and it's. I still say that some of the best relationships that we have, friendship wise, they're built around us all kind of laughing and being stupid naked on the bed, and it doesn't mean you have to have sex with each other, but it's just. It's a great sort of camaraderie and
Just to be comfortable and not have to censor or filter
Yeah.
anything, and just be who you are.
yeah, and we did that a lot last night. It
Yeah.
was fun. So we afterwards redonned our sandals with our leather straps and our gold lame or our gold trunks and dresses.
Had a great chat to Lynn and Ian before we left
Yeah.
about
Yep.
the world, and I have to say I'd be really keen to go back there at some stage.
I would
It
agree
was
with that
a
a
good
million %.
experience.
Yeah.
And they said that some of the nights, they said that last night was a quiet night for them. Their extreme is their masquerade ball, where I think they said they had a
120?
That's no, I think he said it was closer to 200.
wow.
It was 120 couples, I thought he said.
Yeah.
So
about
240.
250 people there. So,
And that's in July, I think it comes up.
Yeah,
But he
so-
said that and New Year's, of course, are their biggest.
New Year's is
So,
always
yeah.
big.
yeah. So that would be a wicked.
Yeah. But he said
night
an
there.
average night was 60 to 100 people,
Yeah,
which
and-
is pretty good, especially, it is good space, but still, that's a fair number of people.
And at one point, my count was 20 individual couples last
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
So that's including
Yep.
us.
Yep.
So that's about 40 people.
That's around
Yeah.
what we guessed, yeah.
And that's what I would have going through my head, guessing, counting, and then the approximations after we went downstairs and counting, and that's not counting staff.
Right. So, yeah, if you're in Brisbane, check it out for
I
sure.
would
Yeah.
definitely highly recommend it. I thought
I
it was.
actually would recommend it as a first date meeting spot if you were that way inclined too, because it's quite casual.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the next step from having a drink, maybe.
Yeah. I highly.
Because you can avoid always that awkwardness of meeting another
Exactly.
couple of like, well, where do we go from here if we actually do click?
Yeah.
That's true.
Exactly.
You know,
And
do we-
if
yeah.
you don't click, you've still got. It's not a waste of a night, but you can go and do other things.
Yeah.
Whether it's together or with another couple or whatever.
And it was actually as a price point. We should say it was $70 per couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a very reasonable price for
Yeah.
a location to, play pool. If
Yeah.
you wanted to get in the spa, you can get in the spa. We have private rooms.
And-
It's cheaper
and-
than a hotel. I mean,
And like all venues in Australia that we've come across, I'm assuming this is more of a federal thing, but it's all BYO.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you just, whatever you want to drink, you bring. If you don't, you don't. It's fine.
Well, the other thing to consider too, if you go to any venue in Brisbane on a Friday or Saturday night, there's a cover charge. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're looking at forking out $40 for a couple to
Wow.
go into a normal spa, and
Jeez.
that's after
Yeah.
waiting in line for a really long time.
which is silly.
if you
Yeah.
are that way inclined, I
Yeah.
won't wait to go in.
And again, the age range that we saw was quite vast, and everybody was attractive. It's like I think most people were at least average to above average on the attractive scale, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I would highly recommend it. I think out of 10,
Yeah. We'll
it
go
gets a
back
solid
next time we're in Brisbane.
7.5 to 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not OSS. Sorry, Mike's Place, but no one will ever be.
It's the OSS of Brisbane.
It's the OSS of Brisbane.
Yeah.
So yeah. Any final comments on Mike's Place? It was a long cab ride back.
Yeah.
Yep.
We all of us dozed off at some point.
Well, not
Yeah.
all of us. I was more watching the rest of you.
Those
Especially
all-
when the cabbie's like, do I take this exit or the next? And that's when the lady woke up and was like, oh, you can take either. And then Ginger Tramp woke up in between and he was like, oh, just take this one, mate. Very,
Yeah.
very suave. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good night.
I think
Yeah,
the
I
driver
think
would.
I think that's it. It is in Slacks Creek, so it is, it's on the outer south or outer south side, down towards, for those of you who know Brisbane, it's down towards IKEA, the original IKEA in Brisbane, but it's well worth the hike. It's well worth going down there to check the place out. It's a good night.
I'd love to see it on one of their other theme nights.
I'd love to see it busy.
Yeah,
busy.
I want to go on one of their big theme nights. So we may have to do a special trip up.
Yeah,
and
For
come
my
up.
birthday.
For your birthday, absolutely. And then we've also talked with Ian about doing the Sex Ed in the City classes, which I think would also be fun. Trying to do a class up here and see how that would go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sure.
Do we have a question?
Yes, we have a question. This is a fun one.
And this one,
better than the last one. Cool.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Everybody ready? If
was
you
loud.
were to have a cosplay swinger party, who would each of you go as?
Oh shit.
Oh no.
Who wants to answer this first?
Cosplay
swinger party.
swinger party.
So for me, I'll start
Okay.
because for me, cosplay is both really easy and very difficult because I like that as I'm thinking about it. Ginger Tramp's like, oh god.
He's stressing.
So one of the I would probably, and I say probably, I'd most definitely do a video game character of some sort because of my video game background. I love video games. Blah 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 blah. I think like you could really sex up Link from The Legend of Zelda. I think that would be kind of awesome. I think I could do that in a more original Link sort of sexy kind of way. I think that would be fun. And pushing this on to the ladies, both of you, I think one of the women doing Samus from the original Metroid would be, I know, right? Sexy as fucking hell. I would love that. But I think the person that I would probably go for is Drake from Uncharted. And I don't know if you've ever played the game.
No.
Uncharted's a great game. He's sort of a Indiana Jones kind of character. So it's jeans and a white 3/4 length t-shirt that's buttoned up. It's always dirty. He's got a sawed-off shotgun and big belt buckle, and he's kind of a man's man, but he's also approachable, and he's about my size. So he's not like overly buff, but he's still sexy and cool.
Nice shape. Yeah.
In nice shape at the same time as being this kind of badass cosplay character. So that would be who I think I would go for, is Drake from Uncharted.
For me, there are three that come to mind. My first gut reaction is Black Widow. But then followed closely, I would say, by Poison Ivy or Mystique. But Black Widow is the first one that comes to mind. But that's almost a little too easy, which is why I think I would push it towards something else.
I think Poison Ivy would be kind of awesome with you.
I like the green. I love the bright,
And you're already Mystique. So. You're just in, Mrs. Adam costume.
Right. Exactly. That's it.
All right, so pressure's on, kids.
Do you want to go? Because I'm torn. I'm still trying to dilute it.
Deciding about
geez.
6 different characters.
Okay,
right,
so
Ginger
we might
Tramp,
have to
what do
narrow
we
this
have?
down. So just bear with us. Commander Shepard from the Mass Effect series.
Oh, dude, that would be a good one for you.
I'm Commander Shepard, and I approve of this swing club. Do you want to see my Mass Effect relay?
Oh, shit.
It's only because that as a character is just, it's a character with a lot of swagger, and also in those games, it is a very, it is a very sexy character. I mean, Mass Effect 3, getting it on with Miranda, if you chose that part of the storyline, this is getting well into cosplay here, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what we meant.
That's so hot. Or sort of an alternative thing, the Lone Wanderer from the Fallout series, or one of the equivalents from the Fallout series.
Dude,
I've just come out of the vault. I've come out of Vault 69, and
have you seen Lucy B's? Lucy B does a Fallout cosplay.
Yeah.
And she's got this huge poster of her out in the middle of the woods in Sydney or wherever, New South Wales.
I haven't seen this.
We'll have to dig it up and find the picture. But Lucy B does this beautiful Fallout. She's fucking hot as hell. But she's one of the vault people.
That would kind of work.
I know, right? It's so fucking... I love her so
Hang on, I'm
much.
distracted now.
I know, right?
No, but maybe something from Fallout. Maybe the Lone Wanderer or something like that from Fallout.
You could have your dog with you.
Or, again, probably in a similar vein, similar series, similar developer, I can't think of the character's actual name, but from Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, yeah.
The main...
I can't think of his name
main
either.
character in that either.
There are people yelling at our podcast right now saying, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know,
Yeah.
It's a great game as well.
Only because I've got the beard and the sort of the gruff look and the could do the swaggering around, pretending that I'm in the good, the bad, and the ugly. Have you come to a decision?
John Marston.
Ha! Stop yelling. Stop yelling at your iPod or Android device.
So I'm
All right,
still
lady.
struggling, so I'm just going to list them
You can
all.
list them all. That'll be fine.
So, Black Widow, because I like leather and I have bright red hair. So, that
you
would
go.
be
Yeah.
easy. One of the Sailor Moon characters.
Sploosh, yeah.
Any or all of them would be really simple. Rogue from X-Men, just because she's one of my favourite characters
Yeah.
and she's not allowed to touch anybody without gloves on, so that's kind of cool. Lara Croft from Tomb Raider.
I love Laura
Because she's
Croft.
got really short shorts and muscly legs.
Like you.
Yeah, you could do that. Totally.
You got muscly
No,
legs.
you could totally do that.
Yeah, you've got muscly legs.
You're in short shorts now. All you need is a couple of guns and a, inherited fortune.
Yeah, true. Then we go into Disney characters.
Oh, I didn't even think about that, but that's a
Disney.
smart idea.
Oh, yeah.
Mulan, just because I love that story. The Little Mermaid.
I would go Ariel.
And
Yeah.
now Snow White, because I saw a lingerie set on Twitter that I'm kind of in love with. That is a Disney character.
Is that the ones that were on Twitter the other day?
Yes,
I
they
know,
are.
right? The
I
Snow White
retweeted
one.
them, so if you wanna check them out,
I did the exact
definitely
same
do.
thing. Somebody tweeted it. I
So
saw
that
it.
was
I was like, holy
actually
shit
7.
balls. Yeah,
Oops.
no, that's... I will say, you went all sexy, girly ones, but I think that that you could do it sexily and still be an awesome cosplay would be Ursula. I think Ursula is a fantastic cosplay to do, and she can be done sexily.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that would be kind of badass to
Because
see.
it would be
Yeah.
very easy to do the strapless but sweetheart
Yeah.
neckline with the very fitted and then
The floof out. Yeah.
oh, what's that called? It's not a mermaid skirt, but a full-on wide base, like you're a lamp,
Yeah,
essentially.
octopus spurs. Skirt.
Yeah, but and color
Like
your
a
skin
Southern
purple.
Belle type of with the the hoop skirts underneath.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
sexiest cosplay I could probably do would be something like SpongeBob.
See, because now you've gone to Disney, I've gone to Warner Brothers because I can't deal with the sappy stuff that is
Yeah.
Disney. I'm thinking Elmer Fudd from What's Opera Doc.
Killed a rabbit.
Oh, Brunhilde, you're so lovely.
Yes, I know this. I can't help it.
I love you too.
Just so I can be pushing the helmet up constantly to look
Yeah.
and see what's going on.
I feel like I should cut what you just did there and make it a ringtone for people.
Yeah. That's their new ringtone when they call.
That's great.
But then there's so many others you could do as well, because I love the shitty sci-fi-esque things on TV. Like,
But that's
It
the
could
fun
do
thing about
anything.
cosplays. There's so many options.
What is it?
Uh-oh.
Oh, from Red Dwarf. Go as Rimmer. Only because that's the
You
best
just like the
name to
name.
introduce yourself at a swing club. Hi, I'm Rimmer.
dude.
Mic dropped.
What do you want to do? see the name.
Hello, my name is Rimmer.
I'm also a hologram, so at any point, if you want me to disappear, bang, gone.
I love it. Awesome.
Great.
Cool. So yeah, I'm actually curious to whatever your favorite cosplay is. Let us know.
Yeah.
And we'll spread it around. And we promise not to make fun of you because we've already got an Elmer Fudd,
don't think-
a Wabbit and Dwag, me,
Ooh, what about Jessica
SpongeBob,
Rabbit?
me. Oh, Jessica Rabbit would be
Yeah.
hot, but
Yeah.
difficult to do.
Yeah.
Please, Eddie. Yeah. So. Thanks for listening. If you want to get in touch with these two fine, lovely people, your Twitter handles are...
The ginger_tramp.
And...
Lolo Lady,
Yes.
but instead of zeros,
Instead of O's.
instead of O's, use zeros.
Yeah, instead
L-
of
Zero.
L0.
Thank you guys.
Yes, and we are By the By Podcast. We are also on Facebook, www.facebook.com/By the By Podcast. On the interwebs, we are www.bytheby.com.au, or on Gmail, we are theatomsoflove@gmail.com.
Yeah. So feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah, that question was from one of our listeners, so send us more of your questions. Those are great questions.
Absolutely.
That we
And
like.
if you don't mind, go on to iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, wherever you get this, ASN Radio Network, and leave us a review.
Yeah, we like reviews.
Yep.
Good ones. Keep the bad ones to yourself. What? It's true.
And
Could be an opportunity for improvement. Stop closing yourself off.
that's why you should send us a message and let us know what you would like to hear more of.
Listen, I don't
Or
close
less
myself
of.
off. I just add more lube.
That's a fair point.
And we have a pinch, and we killed the ginger tramp. We have another pendulum party coming up on May 19th,
Yes.
and it's going to be bloody awesome. So you can find tickets on Our Secret Spot, on RedHotPie, on our website, on Sex Ed the City's website, etc., etc., etc.
So come out, see us, play with us.
Yeah.
It'll be a great night.
Yeah, can't wait to get my mouth on you. Wah.
Thanks for joining us.